Bungy, bungy. Alright, see if that works. The Queen of Darkness is literally the longest book that I've ever read. It was 900 something pages, and that took me, a little while. Um, and each of these are over 1,000 pages. And I'm gonna blame Katie is reading because I've read Brandon Sanderson before. I don't think you can see the shelf of his books. I just hear people raving about like every work that he has, especially this one. Now, I got stuff to annotate these, but hold on. I want you to look at something real quick for me. This is like a pocket-sized book. I don't know how I managed to buy this version when I thought I saw everybody else have like, the ones that at least came down to like here. I don't know how I got this version. I guess it's just my luck. But it's it's also small writing. Well, not that small, but it's and so I want to annotate it, but I don't know if I can because there's like no room anywhere to do anything. So that was kind of like my whole point of this was that I was gonna like annotate this and have like a whole thing of showing like my annotations and writing it in and but now I kind of think it's just the challenge of me reading an over 1,000 page book because I've never read 1,000 page book and literally said that I never would because that was too much for me. It's floppy. It's definitely floppy. The spine on this is going to be so messed up, but yeah, I guess that's my challenge now. It's just to read a 1,000 page book and maybe put some annotations in it. We'll see. But I really, really liked Mistborn, and I heard Kitty is reading. She, I think, rated this 5 stars, and it takes a lot for me to rate a book 5 stars. I have my standards set incredibly high, unfairly high, because I'm very motivated to read it right now. I'm very excited to start this series because currently there's only 4 books in this series. There's supposed to be like, I don't know, maybe like 8 or something. I don't know. But yeah, so I guess I don't know how to transition things. I guess yeah, let's get to reading this, guys. I literally could knock somebody out with this. Well, hello. Um, I just went to the gym and the store,
Well, that's cool.
so cool, which is why I look so lovely right now. Um, but that's not what you're here for, is it? As you can see, I made it to page like I reached the end of part one of The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. Um, and I'm now at the interlude, which is like 197 pages. Was I going to read 200 pages? Yes. Did I come extremely close? Yes, but I'm not forcing myself to read that many pages, you know? So, the first part of this book, I only like one character so far, and that's the male character, which I do have to say, a lot of male fantasy writers, the male characters tend to be a lot better, which is kind of sad, but also makes sense because they have the experience of it and they are able to write more emotionally of what they're able to write that perspective better than like somebody else. And of course they're able to write women, but it's not like from the perspective of somebody who's lived through all of that. And of course you can still write amazing characters that aren't of your um orientation. I find weirdly that I really like the male characters written by men better than the female characters. But so far, I mean, I can't really say anything that's not like spoilery. Oh, I have annotated it, by the way. I don't know if you can see that from there, but my dog's right here. She wants to go to bed. It's like 11 something at night. I'm waking up at 7 tomorrow in the morning. By choice. Yes, by choice. I would just say not my favorite so far. I love the male characters parts more. Is it a spoiler to say their name? I don't think so. Kaladin. If that's even how you pronounce his name. Again, it's a fantasy book. The names are weird. Okay. Love his story. Not sure how I feel about Shalyn. I don't know if that's how you pronounce her name. I mean, she has an interesting story set up, but it's also just like mostly her whining about the fact that like stuff is happening to her. And it's just kind of like I'm like, oh yeah, it's bad, but then it's also like she like talks about people like not negatively. I don't know how to explain it, but there's like slaves and stuff in this, or like lesser people. And she talks about that, and it makes me a little, uncomfortable the way that she talks about. Oh, my father owned these people. Oh, but maybe she'll get better. Maybe she'll see from that point of view and won't say those they're kind. The first 100 pages was kind of confusing of like backstory, and I really like it because he writes the backstory through like it's not all like plopped on you at once. It's kind of revealed as the story goes on and used as like the plot point and kind of I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's really good. I really like it. It does give me Mistborn vibes, but that's probably just because his writing is his writing, so it's gonna be kind of similar to literally anything else that I read. But yeah, so this is my tabs so far. That's two. I want you to look at that. That's 200 pages, and it's like barely a dent in this. I don't know if I'm gonna go insane. I think I might actually. I think I'm going to go insane. I want to read three 1,000 page books back to back. I don't know what kind of coke I'm on. It's not. I need more of it apparently. I'm gonna go to bed because I need to sleep. I really need to sleep. Um, I may or may not be going insane. It's only the second day of me reading this, and let me tell you something. I got to page 400. So when I said I wanted to read like 200 pages a day, I stuck to that. But I want you really quickly just to look at something. That's 400 pages. That is 400 pages. I I'm now starting to realize why people, when they talk about like reading challenges, when they talk about like reading 100 pages a day, I understand why that's a problem now, because I am going to be very honest, I didn't read every single day, and if I did, I didn't always read like 100 pages. So suddenly going from that to 200 pages a day, you can kind of guess. I really am just going insane. Like, part two introduced some new characters. I can't even remember his name. No, I know his name. I just don't know how to pronounce it. It's like a very weird name, if that makes any sense. It's a weird name. It's a fantasy book. All the names are weird. I mean, I like the fact that we're not getting Miss Privilege anymore. If you've read, you know. But I do find it incredibly, it is interesting. It's just like, it hasn't gotten into the like really big stuff that's gonna happen later, I'm guessing. Maybe not. Who knows? Maybe this is just set up for the second book, or the next three books are set up for the fourth. I don't know. But what I do know is that my head hurts. I think I don't know if I'm gonna force myself to read 200 pages anymore. Cause yes, I do want to finish it this week, and that's kind of what I was like. Oh yeah, I want to. This video is gonna be like reading over 1,000 page book in a week, and now I don't know if I should do it for my sanity. I'm a slower reader, which is very annoying because behind me you could probably see I've read a lot of books, and I'm still not that fast at reading. I'm a slower reader. And this book really makes it so that it feels like you're not making progress at all when you're reading it, because again, that was 400 pages that I showed you. I genuinely think I might go insane. Listen, I love Brandon Sanderson's writing. It's really good so far. It's I was gonna say it yesterday because I got reminded of it, but the Wheel of Time stuff, I bought the box of like the first three, and I got like, I don't know, maybe 200, close 400 something pages in. Um, very wide difference. And then I just couldn't get into it. And his writing is very different because he's, already exploring this world through the characters and not having to build it up, before he introduces them and the world. He's doing it through the characters and not like just explaining random stuff and then being like, I don't know how to explain it. He's good at writing this. But it's just like, when I say I wanted to read more fantasy, I don't know if I realized that this isn't really what I fully meant. I'm used to YA fantasy. I'm a little wimp. Okay. The Priory of the Orange Tree. What? Priory of the Orange Tree is like the most heavy fantasy that I've ever read, so diving into this is, not that fun. My camera just made a noise. Did it stop recording? Anyways, yeah, I'm not doing too well at vlogging. Anyways, I'll talk to you later, maybe when I'm less insane. Hello. It is Wednesday, day 3 of reading this book. My dog is here. Do you want to say hi? Come here. My dad just walked by. I was a little out of it last night. I also, like, I think I might have genuinely been, like, dehydrated or something. My little bead for my freaking bookmark fell off. It's just sitting over there, and I can't, like, then the whole tassel fell off, mind you. I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit in bed and maybe read like 20 pages of a book. So far, the book we have like in the first half we had two characters, and now in the second part we have three characters. Um, we no longer have Shallan. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Um, but we do have Kaladin, or at least I think that's how you pronounce his name. Was this warrior, and then he got turned into like a slave, and then now works on these bridges that keep getting shot at, and they have to like pull the bridge and set it down so that the people who are supposed to be protecting them can go fight. And he's on the most unlucky bridge, and right now he's trying to make it so that the people around him like actually live, because he's the only one that's been living, even though he's been right up front getting arrows shot at him. And people think he's lucky, or there's a superstition about him now, and I have to say I agree, because you're growing up and everybody around you dies, and then you're suddenly the only person that lives. Something's happening, and it happens multiple times. Something's happening. But I don't know how to pronounce the other dude's name. I think it's like Dalinar. Dalinar, that's how you pronounce his name. I like him better than his son Adolin. His son is just annoying. For some reason, there always has to be one annoying character so far in this. And he's like this war general that's seeing visions and stuff. And I like that stuff because because what's happening is everybody thinks that he's crazy. I like that because then it makes it, when stuff does happen and it becomes true, the visions and stuff, or like whatever he was getting warned about becomes true, people are like, why didn't you warn us more? Because the king was his brother, and now he's serving his son, who is now the king. And he's trying to be like, hey, we need to, for some reason it's unite them. That's what's happening. That's this thing's telling them unite people. What do you mean by that? Like, it's very vague. Vague. We'll see if I force myself to read it. If I force myself to read 200 pages today, I would get to 600 if I did that, and I kind of want to be halfway done with this book, because again, that's 400 pages. Am I regretting my choices? Yes. But I'm also liking the book, so I can't regret it that much. Uh, this has become reading 200 pages a day challenge, is basically what this has become. And I just get like so absorbed that I like take a few clips at the beginning of me reading, and then just don't vlog anything else. As you can see, we're halfway through. Everybody clap for me. Clap for me. Thank you. Thank you. But I am now, I think, like, not officially, but basically halfway through the book. As you can see, I've kept up tabbing and annotating. Not as much, though, because I've been kind of just, like, getting absorbed into the story. But I finished part 2. And I spelled chaos wrong. I spelled chaos wrong. I feel like a third grader. But each of the like parts have this like print in it, and it has a label. This one is really fun because it's called Dying. But we go back to who we really started with, Caladan and Shallan. I don't know about you, but I get headaches after reading for a while, and that's all I'm gonna complain about, because it's a good book and I like it so far. So far it's like a 4 rating. Just because it's not like action packed yet. We haven't gotten into like the full plot, which I'm guessing like more stuff is gonna happen towards the end of it, or like set up for the second book. Because I think maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like he wrote this knowing that it was gonna be like a series, so he might be setting up for other books. Which I mean, I don't mind, but it's not my favorite thing that authors do. I think I really am vying for one of the characters in this book to die, which is not normal for me. It really isn't. I fully hate one of the characters so much. And I know some people they might be their like favorite character, which to that I have to say you have horrible taste. But I'm not gonna say who it is because I don't know if that's a spoiler. Is that a spoiler? I don't know. I'm on page 600 now. We've kind of everything's still very much a mystery. We don't really have too many answers. We're starting to have more development of characters and learning more of their backstory or why they think the way that they do. It's interesting, but it's definitely still, like not fully developed. Like I see the characters and like where they're gonna go, but I'm not. We're not there yet, and I just want to be there because I really don't want to read 200 pages again, and I'm gonna keep complaining about it whenever I do these. Am I like, is something wrong with me that I keep getting headaches from like reading 100 pages just in one sitting? Like I'll read 100 pages and then I'll like take a hour's break or like an hour or two break and then read another 100 pages. Also, by the way, the people who read like 400 pages a day are freaks. I don't know who said that that was normal. I don't know who said that. Yeah, that's how average readers are. That's not how average readers are. I'm one of the people who can tell you that's not what happens. I don't know if the other editions have it, but there's art like in it, like before some chapters, and some chapter headings are very interesting. There's somebody in the interludes that I really like, and he becomes a character. I was scanning through the part like part 3, part 5, like that type of thing where it names the characters, and a character who's in the interludes becomes a part of the like regular story. I guess regular. I don't. Yeah. No, no, Nella, 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 don't leave. I've been betrayed. Anyways, I'm tired. Also, why does it look so sparse sitting here? Like that's I my bookshelves look so like that, and then it looks like there's no books here, but there are. I swear I'm a reader, guys. I swear I'm a reader. I'm gonna go back to torturing myself tomorrow, you know, and force myself to read again. I also am challenging myself to finish this in a week. I might, you know what? I might be eating my words and just like completely stop tomorrow, or just like, I don't know. Sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on who I am on a Thursday, okay? Anyways, see you tomorrow, I guess. I I finished another 200 pages. No. Oh, that's the worst view. Stop! 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 Okay, hold, please, for the love of everything. That's good, right? I love not being in the center of the frame. I finished another 200 pages. I'm now at 800 pages. That's 800 pages. Again, I will probably say this in every clip. My head hurts. It's falling again. Are you gonna stay up this time? Hopefully. But in this part, we're following Shalyn and Kaladin. Did I say that already? It's back to the beginning, like basically how it was at the beginning of the book. I mean, Shalyn's like character is a little bit more interesting now, but like not by much. But Kaladin, my baby boy, I love him so much. This is just chaos at this point. You know what's funny? I'm always like, oh, I want to like really talk about the book and like give my opinion on it in these. I'm like my head hurts and I'm tired and I feel like I've gone insane. And I'm not that good at getting words across when I'm like this. Actually in general. Anyways, I changed my rating to basically a 5 star as of right now. That's literally only because of Caladan. Is that how you pronounce his name? I don't know. I don't really care. But I love him so much. He's just a brave boy, and we're kind of learning more about his past and stuff. And I'm guessing because, it's a fantasy book, it's not that happy because I'm like, we're 800 pages in, and I don't really know that much about his backstory yet. I mean, the other characters are interesting, but like, we could have just had this whole book be like Kaladin, and I would have. It probably would have been like 600 pages. I have things that I want to say, but my brain is completely blank. We're getting towards the end. I have 2 more days, unless I want to read 400 pages in a day, which I think because it takes the average person, or at least it takes me an hour to read 50 pages, which means it takes 2 hours to read 200 pages. I can't, like, my brain is so, like, messed up. But I'm enjoying it. That's all that really matters. Because it's very nice. You kind of just fall into the world as you're reading, especially Calhoun's. You like sometimes you'll like be reading a book and you just like look down and you've read like 30 pages and you weren't even like even looking counting how many you were reading. That's what happens whenever I read his chapters. I've done a horrible job with this vlog, but hopefully, because I'm gonna maybe, I don't know, who knows. I'm probably gonna be making a video on the other 2 books in this series, which are both over 1,000 pages as well. Anyways, today's Thursday, right? Yeah, it's Thursday today. I look like a gremlin. I'm almost done. You like my tabs? You like my tabs? Look at that. This is literally all I have left. All I have left is this. Also, like, I was worried about this. I don't know if you can see it that well. About, like, yeah, you can kind of see it, like, injuring the spine like that. But at the same time, it's one of those books where the text is, like, close to the spine, you know? And it's annoying in a lot of books because, especially when they're in this format, because you can't fully open them, so you have to, like, strain the book to read those words or, like, move your freaking neck. But with this, thankfully, it's flexible, but I'm also possibly damaging the spine. But I'm already annotating and writing in it, so, like, should I care that much? Probably not. Bye. Hello. It is Sunday. I'm filming this on my iPad, by the way, if you're wondering why the quality is horrible. Um, but this vlog was already really long, and I didn't want, it to be like, oh, it was just, I don't know, 40 minutes or something. Maybe it will be, who knows. But I I finished it. It was 1,252 pages. I finished it yesterday. And as much as I, was hyping it up and talking about, like, oh, maybe this is a 5 star, I sadly have to say that I think it is only a 4.5. it was really close. It's just the fact that I didn't really, other than Callan, I mean, I didn't mind the other characters, but they just weren't like my favorite. Um, and they just didn't give as much like, I don't know. I just didn't love them as much as him, and so for that, it kind of, you know, him only being like 1/3 of the story, I didn't rate it 5 stars. If it was just him, I might have, because honestly, the way that his story is written is really good. I did finish this in a week, even though I'm filming this on a Sunday. I actually finished it in less than a week because I started it on Monday, finished it on Saturday. So I did, I did it. I did do it. I don't know if I'll do it again in the future. If I'll read 200 pages a day, that was just a lot. Oh, and I found my little bead and tassel right here. It's starting to come undone, which is sad. The ending was really good. It finished up the first book, but set up a plot for the second, and didn't just finish the entire book and then have to come up with a plot for the second book because I said it earlier. I need to stop saying I was editing this video and noticed how much I said that, and I just hated it so much. He finished it off so that it leads into the second book, which I really appreciate because I think that he wrote it in mind as a series, like I previously said, and I very much appreciate that because I think what happened with him is he got a book deal to write a series when a lot of authors get a deal to write like one book and then that does well, and so then they're encouraged to write a second one. And usually they have to come up with a whole different plot, like unnecessary plot, and open it up and how they actually failed to do this thing. And it's annoying to read, but it's also like you love the characters so much. But jeez, this one is. I'm excited to read Words of Radiance. I think maybe Oathbringer is the longest. I have no idea. But here's your proof. Here's your proof that I did it. All the way down to the last page. I got some tabs going. I don't know if I ever showed what my tabs actually were. The one at the top was love, moments that I loved, moments that made me laugh, sad moments, and shocking moments. Um, so as you can see, it's a good mix of all of them, but not that many laughs. I wouldn't say that it's dark, but it's also not, a comedy. It's 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 a lot. I would recommend this book to people, but what is happening with my eyebrow? I would recommend this to people, but to people who want to get into like thick fantasy, not just like beginners. And you're looking at this and you're like, oh, that looks like a good book to read. I will have to say, even reading 400 pages it can be a lot, and especially if you're a mood reader like me, uh, kind of forcing yourself the way that I did this week to read is not the most fun way to read a book, but I mean, it definitely does, like, make it so that you're not confused about the plot halfway through reading it because you forgot half of it because you didn't read for like a day or two. Um, but yes, 4.5. I this was a mess of a vlog. But thank you for watching if you did. I will definitely try to do a reading vlog for the second book, and hopefully the third. It's just a lot. But thank you. Thank you for watching. Stay hydrated, um, and have fun reading. And have fun reading. Anyways, bye.